Hello and welcome to Psychgeist, where we talk about the psychology of the era, the science of games. I am your host, Dr. Rachel Kowert, and on today's episode of Jargon Schmargon, we're going to be talking about reality, virtual, augmented, and extended reality. VR, AR, and XR are becoming more discussed within the realm of game studies, as technology is finally starting to catch up with our wildest dreams. But what exactly do these terms refer to? Let's start with virtual reality, perhaps the most familiar of the three terms. Virtual reality, or VR, is a simulated experience that can either be similar to or completely different from the real world. Back in my day, virtual reality games were those $50 games at Dave & Buster's where you stood on a moving treadmill and put on a headset, which were sure to be very germy, and walked around in a 3D space, mostly populated by grid lines. Today, virtual reality has come a long way. No longer limited to the side of the arcade where my parents wouldn't even let me look in that direction, virtual reality is far more accessible. During my postdoc work at the University of Münster, for instance, we had several VR devices. You could buy one for your own enjoyment for under $1,000. Beat Saber, anyone? Applications of virtual reality include entertainment, video games, Beat Saber, education, military or medical training, and businesses use them for virtual meetings, virtual therapy sessions. Augmented reality is a subtype of virtual reality. Augmented reality, AR, is an interactive experience of a real-world environment where the objects that reside in the real world are enhanced by computer-generated information, sometimes across multiple senses: visual, auditory, haptic, which is grasping, somasensory, the sensory nervous system, things like hot and cold, olfactory, things like smells, the overlaid sensory information. That's the augmented reality. This can be constructive, it could be additive to the natural environment, or it could be destructive, it can mask the natural environment, and it's seamlessly interwoven with the physical world, so it's perceived as an immersive aspect of the real environment. So the difference between augmented reality is that it alters or augments one's ongoing perception of the environment, whereas the virtual reality completely replaces one's environment with the simulated one. Pokemon Go is a great example of augmented reality, whereas that Dave & Buster's experience was definitely virtual reality. Then there's extended reality, XR, which is another term you may have heard before. Now this term is kind of an all-encompassing one that encapsulates all real and virtual combined environments. This term has come more popular as we live our lives with greater human-computer, human-machine interaction, things like wearables. So in this sense, XR would encompass both augmented and virtual reality. It's the top level that encompasses all the other Rs, VRs, ARs, all the R terms. So virtual reality, we've come a long way in its use in and out of games. Virtual reality is the most widely known of the reality technologies. It's a fully immersive experience which tricks your senses into thinking you're in a different environment or world apart from the real world. Using a head-mounted display, usually, or a headset, you experience computer-generated world of imagery and sounds where you can manipulate objects, virtual objects, and move around using maybe haptic controllers while tethered to a console or a PC. For me, it's also known as the thing that you do to make you sick. Yeah, motion sickness. Augmented reality, AR, overlays digital information on real-world elements. Augmented reality keeps the real world central, but enhances it with other digital details, layering new levels of perception by supplementing your reality or environment. It can add things or take things away. Then there's extended reality, which includes both of these and is really the highest order term. It refers to anything in which we see human-computer or human-machine interaction, whether it be with our smartwatches or getting sick in the latest Oculus game. XR is an all-encompassing term referring to all real and virtual combined environments. If you like this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. And until next time, be excellent to each other and always cite your sources.